Hey, got a serious question for you. If you knew you had one more day before dying, how would you spend your day? If you knew tomorrow, which is Friday, was your last day before, was the day you were going to die, how would you spend your last day? Who would you spend it with? Where would you spend it? Just what are some of the things you would do? And so, as you know, we've been chronicling the life of Christ in his last week before dying and resurrecting. This is Holy Week. Tomorrow is Good Friday. Sunday is on the way. Hey, I'm Chaplain Outing. Glad to be back with you on this Maundy Thursday. Why do they call it Maundy Thursday? It's many churches have a worship service on Thursday night, Maundy Thursday, because it focuses on the servanthood, the humility of Jesus, where Jesus, there's a number of things he did that day, but one of the highlighted moments of that day is when Jesus, the living Lord, stooped down and washed the dirty feet of his disciples, a job that a slave would do, a job that a house servant would do, right? Jesus was saying, "Hey, I am your servant, right? I'm here to serve you, to slave you, if you will. I'm here not of my own accord. I'm here to do my Father's will. I'm a servant of my Father, and I'm a servant of all of humanity. And I'm washing feet to show you that as a leader, if I can wash the feet of the people who follow me, to refresh them, to make things better for them, to make life more bearable and easier for them, surely you can do likewise for one another," which is one of the things that Jesus taught. He taught us to love. In fact, that was one of the lessons he taught the day before he died, to love one another. He said, "A new commandment I give you, to love one another, and to love one another as I have loved you." But let me just kind of go in order, and then I'll go back to the feet washing. But here's some of the things that took place on that last day. Jesus eats a meal with the people closest to him, which was his disciples. And that's a powerful thing. When you can go to lunch or breakfast with someone or share a meal with somebody, that's one of the most powerful things you can do to connect with people. That's why eating together at home, eating a meal together as a family, which I need to do a whole lot better at. Eating a meal with a friend or somebody that is close to you, it does something to the relationship when you can share a meal together. So that's one of the things that Jesus did. And then in the midst of that, he was instituting what we call the Lord's Supper. Some churches and ministries call it communion. Call it, and our Catholic brothers and sisters, they call it Mass. All of that was instituted and began the day before Jesus died. He also had to deal with mindsets of his leaders, some wanting to be greater in the kingdom than other people. And Jesus always taught humility. Everything Jesus did in life, it really showed his humility, how humble he was, that he didn't come here to try to be great, though he became great. He made himself of no reputation. He wasn't trying to be in the front or the forefront or be ahead of anybody or better than anyone. He simply got a reputation. The reputation that he got came because he loved people, he served people, he met people where they were, he healed the hurting, he healed the sick, he raised dead folk, he touched lepers, the untouchables of the community. He touched them, he healed them. People that had bloody discharges, he would touch them. And in that culture, you became unclean if you touched people like that. But Jesus was like, I ain't scared of y'all. I'm not scared to touch people that nobody else want to touch. I am here to serve and to love the least, the last, the lowest, and the lost. I am here as Lord to die on a cross for all of humanity. And so the day before, it was a very heart-wrenching day. Jesus goes to Gethsemane on that day. It was a day in which, he asked the Father if he could take that cup from him and not have to go through all that the cross entailed. But the Father never answered him. And Jesus said, well, not my will, your will be done. And I'm so glad Jesus got through Gethsemane. And, Gethsemane is a garden where there was olives and where they would make olive oil. And the way you make olive oil is to crush the olives. And to be in Gethsemane, it was Jesus. The symbolism there is that coming here was a form of crushing. Getting on the cross is a form of crushing. And you and I must go through a form of crushing in life if the anointing oil is going to flow in and through us. All that took place on the day before. And if you want to know the message that Jesus taught and the prayer that he prayed, read John, the 14th chapter through the 17th chapter. And he gave basically his last sermon or last instructions to his disciples. Well, hey, I could say a whole lot about what took place on the last day before Jesus died, but I love the fact that Jesus, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, would stoop down and do the work of what was considered to be a lowly servant's job, which tells us that there is no job too low, no job too dirty, no service to people that is so low for any of us. And that humility and servant leadership says that if God can do that, surely I can. So I'm going to ask each of you to go forth and love people, serve people, make life better for the people in your home, make things better for the people on your job. Do your job to refresh others, and make sure you walk in your house and you walk on the job and you walk in people's lives with a servant's mentality that I am here to serve you and to make life better for you. That's what we're called to do. Hey, make it a great Maundy Thursday. May God's blessings be with you and the joy of the Lord be your strength. Take care.